Oh my God!
Alright, if you missed the last video, you don't know that something, well, I'm sure a lot of you guys already know because somebody spoiled it on Instagram, but something went terribly wrong with Jack Black. We're not entirely sure yet, but that's what we're going to do today. We're going to find out what went wrong with it. If you haven't watched the last video, we took it to the track, ran its best time yet, went 1374 off the trailer, and then it went 14.1 at like 92, went 98 on the best pass. And we thought that was a fueling issue, so we fixed it, so we thought, and then went back out and it went 16.1 at 82, puking all over the track and shutting off at the end of the track, smoking everyone out. So today we're gonna find out what went wrong with it. And he already got the engine out, so we have an idea on what went wrong with it.
Yeah, if you get just right, you can see all the way through.
We're gonna, looks like, drain the oil and then flip it over, pull the pan off, and see what happened, because I don't know, the way it's on both sides like that, might have been a rod, not sure.
I pull the pan off the way it's set so nothing goes up into the motor.
The motor's junk, I wouldn't worry about it. That's a stinker, that sucks.
Man, look at that oil from how it used to be clean.
Yeah, that was brand new oil. Good lord. Yeah, you can definitely see where the headers were leaking.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens when you bend it.
Yep.
What?
It's weird how it took out a section of this gasket here too. The oil pan gasket.
Oh, that's just the bulge of it.
No, there's a chunk here.
Huh. Well, we gotta flip this over. This ain't fucking working. Got a lift on the front of the motor. Okay, you only go one way. Well, fuck, I thought I drained it all. Son of a bitch. Good Lord.
Well, you drained it all now. That is rusty too. Oh, here we go. Got it.
Oh, okay.
There we go. You're welcome.
Let's see, I gotta smash the pan back in to get to that one bolt.
So what do you think actually happened?
Well, it's funny because it never knocked, which makes me wonder about a rod.
Right. Wow. Could just hear a bunch of shit just falling out of the end of the pan. That's crazy. I have no idea, because like even when I fired it up on the trailer, the engine sounded smooth.
Yeah.
It just didn't have any oil pressure. That is crazy. I sincerely thought that like the bottom end and everything was fine. I have no clue.
Me neither.
I don't even have any guesses, because it didn't make any noise. The only issue is it just didn't have oil pressure. It never knocked, never ticked aside from the exhaust leak. On the bright side, it is a beautiful day out.
Windy. Yeah, we're supposed to be having thunderstorms rolling in.
I thought we were supposed to be having thunderstorms a couple hours ago.
Yeah, they just haven't made it yet.
I mean, it's cloudy, but it's nice out. Alright. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah. We lost a rod. A couple of them. Holy fuck. Good lord. That thing's straight up curled around.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez Louise. How the hell did that happen?
Sort of weird. Every one of the plugs look like I just opened them up out of a box. Fucking launched both of them back here.
These two back plugs are still fine?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Oh, they're in the bucket. Every one of them. Look, fucking brains hanging in.
What the
Wow,
fuck?
Nailed the shit out of the block.
Yeah.
Maybe they got the RPMs a little higher than I thought. Fucking both of them broke at once.
Wow. Straight up fucking wow. I am dumbfounded. I sincerely thought that the bottom end would have been okay. Holy shit. No, I was gonna say let's pull as much of this shit out as we can and then flip it over, pull the heads off. My God.
Only the price tag didn't smack the head.
Fine. So, you can see it started to touch the valves a little bit. This is actually still pretty smooth through here. Well, that was a good one. But for the most part, it's not like gouged. It's still pretty smooth. And the heads look fine. The heads look really fine. And then this one's kind of the same way. But yeah, both heads are fine. The worst it did on this one was pretty much nothing, actually. Well, how have all the lifters looked so far?
Great.
So now that we know what happened, I wonder how it happened. I definitely think that one rod let go and then took the other one out.
Very possible.
I just don't know, because like the pistons are pretty much fine. This is just, I think, from it bouncing around in there.
Yeah, when it broke, it went out, and then the valve pushed it back down.
What actually caused it to break? Because it's just the rod, and all the other ones are fine. Alright, so we got that motor all torn down. I had to, Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of here, you big ass bee. Anyway, we got that motor all torn down, and some of it was savable. The cam was still good. The crank could have been turned and saved. 6 of the rods and pistons were still fine, but we basically threw all that away. We're not going to use that cam again. It was giving us problems with the EFI and the carburetors. Someone smarter than us could have made it work, but for us it's just not worth the hassle. The block was completely trashed. It started to saw through 2 of the cylinders, 7 and 8. Yeah, we ended up scrapping pretty much all of it except the flex plate and the heads. I think were the only things that were really good on it. So we were going back and forth on whether we wanted to LS swap it, which I really want to LS swap it, but we can take the heads that we have, throw them on the small block that we got against the wall. It'll make about 9.5 to 1 compression. It'll flow good, put a good cam in it. We got a Performer intake, just a nice little dual plane that we'll throw on it. And it should be a nice little street strip motor that'll make 300, 330 in that neighborhood. And that should be good enough because the engine that was in the truck, we all know it's been down on power for a while. With the setup, everything that was in it, it should have went 12s pretty easily. But I think with, just for the sake of getting it back on the road quickly, it's cost effective. It's not gonna be super popular with a lot of people, but it'll get us back on the road, it'll get us back on the track. We can get back to having fun at the truck. It should be fairly reliable. I don't know, but that's kind of what we're leaning towards. We're tearing into the other motor. It's actually the stock motor that was in the truck when we bought it. Just pulled the heads off it, and it's just a stock 350. Nothing particular about it, except that the lifters are stuck. Yeah, and then this is the intake I was talking about. It's just a Performer. But yeah, with those heads, this should be around 9.5 to 1. Could be like 9.3 or so, but it'll be in the neighborhood of 9.5. So just to keep things kind of cost effective and not spend a whole bunch of money that we just saved back up and throw that back in the truck, I think we're just gonna do with this for now. It should be a pretty good setup. I think it'll get us back into the 13s because this thing should run better than the motor that we pulled out, since that thing, it's been down on power for a while. With the cam in 11.5 to 1 or 11 to 1 compression, it should have gotten us to the 12s pretty easily. So that's what we're gonna do for now. See how long this engine lasts. This will be the 4th setup. This is technically 3 engines though, because this is the one we pulled out of the truck. If any of you guys have any recommendations for a good cam, leave those in the comments below, because that's pretty much the only thing we're gonna have to get for it, aside from like oil and head gaskets and intake gaskets. But we're just gonna recycle those heads, use this intake, put the Edelbrock back on it, and then if this engine pops, then we'll go LS. That's a promise. To go LS, it wouldn't be difficult. It would just take a little bit longer, and we'd have to change a bunch of stuff. We'd have to completely redo the fuel system that we just put in it, wiring harness, ECU, because I don't have that, a different throttle body. This is all assuming I'd be using the 5.3 that I got on the stand. Need a different throttle body because that's a drive-by-wire one. Need a different ECU because that's a drive-by-wire one. And I've heard people say that those are pain to tune, and I'm not skilled enough to want to put myself through that. And an adapter, like a spacer, maybe a flex plate and stuff to go to the Turbo 400. Basically, it would, I tried to price it out last night, it would be right around 2,000-ish. So it's kind of like 2,000 and make 400-ish NA, or $400 and make 330 NA and then spray the guts out of it later. I know there's going to be people that say, why not do the LS and spray, but we don't have that kind of money to throw around. So for the sake of getting the truck back together, getting it running again, getting content out there, this is probably just the best way to do it. Now, for those of you who do want to see an LS swap, I am trying to start to gather parts for James Brown, and hopefully I'm really trying to get stuff so that I can get to work on that hopefully soon. As soon as we get that truck back together and I get a trans back in this thing, then we'll get to work on James Brown. But that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next time.